One more qualifying heat to go for the day, and it is the senior category. That is coming up next. There was a red flag in that race. Unfortunately, driver involved in that one, Hamza Al Fayez, the driver of the 246, unfortunately out of that race. I did hear reports that he was okay, which is good to hear, but I am not sure if he is out in this race. We will see. If he is, that is fair play to Hamza Al Fayez as he tries to battle his way. If not, it's completely understandable. If not, as the drivers make their way out onto the circuit, let's take you through the starting lineup for OKN Senior Qualifying Heat 2. It's Luna Flusha from Hugo Heron on row 1, Sebastian Korpeng and Ella Latema on row 2. Wojciech Woda and George Nassar round out row 3. They'll have Jakub Mikulev and Maximilian Rafalik on row 4. Felipe Caras and Pit Casabene round out row 5. They'll have Jean Caras and Hamza Al Fayez, who would have been starting on the 6th row of the grid. And I can confirm that he has not crossed the timing beam on the exit of the pit lane. Hamza Al Fayez not taking part in this one. We do hope he is okay. Marcus Shilkunis and Austin Gale go from row number 7. Charles Lambert and Gianni Pascal round out row number 8. Gazi Mollica and Sofia Sanfari round out row 9. They'll have Peyton Westcott and Elizaveta Kozlova rounding out the top 20 on row 10. Charlotte Page and Franciszek Zielecki round out row 11. They'll have Prix Trevino and Alessandro Biggi on row 12. Bernardo Bonaldi and Anastasia Gerasis on row 13. They'll have the likes of Rahim Alabai and Yana Kapoor on row 14. Adam Sador and Isaac Demelwi go from row 15 and round out the top 30. Casper Bonda and Charles Troxler round out row 16. Truly Adams and Romeo Nassar round out the 33 kart grid, with, of course, the non-starter of Hamza Al Fayez. And again, we do pass on our best regards to Hamza. Hopefully we see him out in the final later on today or hopefully tomorrow. Drivers making their way past the red line. Now from here, no overtaking is permitted. You can get yourself into your starting slot. If you're already in position, that is. You can get alongside your driver, but you're not allowed to overtake anyone. Drivers make their way round into the final corner. Looks good at the front here. Are we going for the first time of asking? The answer to that is yes. And it again is a great getaway for Flusha and the inside row. Korpeng, Woda and Mikulev all go through. Head on, has to settle for, I think, P4. Now, maybe P5 as he tries to battle his way back through this field. Down in towards turn number 5. It all kicked off here earlier on for many. Is it going to kick off for more here? Yes, it is. Dust getting kicked up in the background there. One driver off the circuit. It looks like it's the 226. Unfortunately, that's gone off the circuit. That is Sofia Sanfari. So she will not be delighted with that one at all. She tumbles to the back of the grid. Racing continuing at the front. Big late lunge there down the inside. And that, I believe, is the likes of maybe George Nassar and Latema trying to gain through. It is Jakub Mikulev who's up into 3rd place, who got on into 4th. Change for the lead, though. Sebastian Korpeng down the inside of Flusha in towards turns 2 and 3. Now takes the lead of this race. Luna Flusha, who won the qualifying heat earlier on, who has won 3 finals out of 4 so far this season, is under pressure and is now down to 2nd place. They have got a gap, though, from the drivers behind. Head on there in 3rd. Still has Felipe Caras accompanying. Mikulev 5th. Voda's down to 6th place. Rafalik 7th. Caras, Jean Caras, that is, in the treble 2, is there in 8th place, ahead of Latema, who's 9th. Shilkunis currently rounding out the top 10. On board with Wojciech Woda as he makes his way across the start-finish line. We go on to lap 3. 2 laps completed for the field here. You can see how wide the circuit opens up there through turns 2 and 3. Tightens just a little bit here into the pinch point. It's going to look to the inside, and so is Luna Flusha. Down the inside, that is a risky move through turn number 5, but she makes it work and is back up into the race lead here. Head on has closed in on Korpeng, and now Korpeng has to think about defending now and not re-attacking on Luna Flusha. Drama has involved in the background. I'm seeing carts off left, right and centre at turn number 5. Who is involved there as a big send down the inside for Hugo Heron, and we are under slow procedure, and that is the reason why so many drivers off the circuit. And it looks to me like Gianna Pascal is one, Rahim Alabai is one, Alessandro Biggie, Peyton Westcott, Isaac de Melweek and Romeo Nassar, I think, are all off the circuit there. It looks like Prix Trevino as well, Adam Sador also. But there you can see, and well, it looks to me like a heavy impact with the barriers there. The barriers really dented in at one point of it. So the race has been neutralized, and the kart's very unceremoniously being dragged off the circuit. That is the kart of Rahim Alabai, the American driver, joining us for the first time in the Champions of the Future Academy program. We saw him race out last time around in another championship in Sweden, but certainly in the Champions of the Future. But we'll see what he can do in this one. But so far in his both races have resulted in retirement, so not what he wants to see in this one. So race neutralized, we are under slow procedure, and at the moment, as we go on to lap 5, Luna Flusha is the leader of this one. Head on, Korpeng, Linus Stern still there, Karas, Voda, Mikalev, Jean Caras still running at the top 7, Ella Hatama in 8th, Rafalek in 9th, Marcus Shilkunas still running out the top 10. Drivers will aim to keep temperature into the tyres. Air temperature still 32 degrees. I can imagine the track temperature is sizably warmer than that. But again, these drivers right now just needing to focus. Now, flags at the moment have gone static, indicating that we could be going this time around. As the field gets bunched up now, Flusha needing the ultimate getaway here to see if we can get started, and she doesn't get the getaway. There's contact and they slow down. We're under green flag and racing, but Flusha was still warming tyres. We are green flag, we are racing, but Flusha wasn't ready for that at all. She thought she was still under yellows, but amazingly, she holds on to the lead here. And well, that was very lucky. That didn't bunch the rest of the pack up, and we had another incident, but all the field gets away, and Flusha, amazingly, gets a gap from that, gaining now 0.3 of a second from the likes of Hugo Heron, who's under pressure from Korpeng. Kana's still there in P4, as they're trying to just break away now and try and close back into Flusha, who has broken away. We're on lap 6 of 11. This is on board with Wojciech Woda. You can see the train up ahead, sideways under brake in the inside line. On the outside line there, you can see the 218. Now, who is that just behind Wojciech Woda in the time screen? That's Charlotte Page trying to go for the move. This was the view. There you can see, well, yeah, just the chopping and changing. Everyone closing in. Wow, big moment there. That was super lucky. That was super lucky there for Filipe Caras. He was nearly completely rotated there, and there, unfortunately, for Wojciech Woda, his pace just gone, and he tumbled him down the order. So, yeah, there was dramatics in the background there because of that. But Flusha continues to lead the way as Head On, and the likes of Korpeng still second and third. Korpeng to the inside, down the inside, through turn 14, gets his way through, moves up into now third place. Or was that Caras? It was, sorry, that was Jean Caras moving up into third place. Korpeng now down to 4th. So Head On still there in second, trying to close in on Luna Flusha. The gap has closed down, and there's more drama. Off the track, Maximilian Rafalek off the circuit, as well as Jakub Mikalev. Unfortunately, both drivers off the circuit and out of this race. And again, I can imagine there may not be a friendly conversation between those two as they head to the marshal post. But certainly, that has been another very dramatic race in this one. So many retirements in this senior category. Back over the start-finish line here, though. The gap is down to 0.1 of a second. Luna Flusha is once again under pressure, but this time in the form of Hugo Heron and not Sebastian Korpeng. Corpeng is down in P4 at the moment, and this is Hugo Heron, who started on the front row of the grid. Remember that. Second in time qualifying. Knows he's got the pace here. Certainly putting into play. He's dropped off a little bit now. Back down to 0.2 of a second. In fact, goes down to 0.3 now, so clearly is strong in this final sector. Struggling in sector 1 and 2. You see there, closes in again into the hairpin. That concertina effect, though, does play tricks on the drivers, but there you go. Look at that. Sizably faster in sector 3. In that alone, that is superb there from Hugo Heron. The gap back down to 0.1 of a second as it opened up into sector 3 to 0.3. So we'll keep an eye on this one, but we're on lap 10 of 11 at the moment. But the last lap board will be out this time. Heron needs to dig deep here if he wants to try and gain those places. Flusha at the moment, though, with the double points, doesn't need to worry about Hugo Heron, because a drop to second here won't affect her too much. She's still got 100 points to her name. She's looking to start on pole position here is Luna Flusha. Back with Wojciech Woda, who's got a sizable bit of real estate between himself and the likes of Gazi Motlaka in P12 just ahead. You see there, that battle raging on just in front. Motlaka looking to the inside of Ella Ladtama, Charles Lambert there as well. Pip Casabene, Felipe Caris, Marcus Shilkunas, who's now back down to 8th place. We're on the final lap of this race here, and Flusha controlling that gap is 0.2 of a second. But remember, Heron is faster in the second half of this lap and is closing in again. Check over the shoulder. Flusha in control here and is looking strong. She is in line to start on pole for that final later on today. The final check over the shoulder into the hairpin, but no attack from Hugo Heron. She can be comfortable as she exits out of the final corner. It is Luna Flusha once again on top in the qualifying heats. She gets maximum points as she heads into the final later today. It's pole in qualifying, 2 qualifying heat wins, and now a pole position start for that final later on today. Heron finishing in second place will start alongside Luna Flusha on the front row. Sebastian Corpeng will start on the second row in P3. Wojciech Woda will start alongside Sebastian Corpeng on row number 2 in that final later on today. Felipe Caris and Jean Caris, the brothers, will round out row number 3 for that final. But again, all of that is provisional, of course, pending any post-race results and, of course, scrutineering. Well, drivers make their way back into Parc Ferme. Confirmation, Luna Flusha taking the win ahead of Hugo Heron and Jean Caris, who rounds out the top 3. We'll see those 3 out in the final later on, right at the sharp end of the order, as well with Sebastian Corpeng and Wojciech Woda. Felipe Caris as well will start alongside Jean Caris. Finish that one in 3rd place. There's a look at the results. Corpeng finishing in P4 ahead of Nassar. Then it's Gale from Caris, Casabene from Shilkunas, Lambert from Woda, Motlaka from Ladtama, Kozlova from Strzeleski, who rounds out the top 15. Biggest mover in the top 15 would be Strzeleski, gaining 7 places. Charlotte Page finishing in 16th place after gaining 5 ahead of Sofia Sanfari, who managed to recover back to 17th place after going off the track in the early stages. Bernardo Bonaldi finishing in 18th place after gaining 7 places.